Good evening, folks, and welcome to another episode of Prematch Muti. We've got That's so rubbish. That's so rubbish. Claudia is such a clown. But it's almost a full house tonight. We got Matty with his witty jokes. Then we got the Hammerhead Rich. Then we got Coach Nick. He's winning some games apparently. Then we got Wenga Denga, the Dengasaurus, the man with the most caps on this show. And then we got Claudio, the guy who supports a team that's doing something this season, which I don't even understand. And then you got myself, the Red Devil.
Yeah, Celo. Guys, out of 10, what would we give Celo for that introduction?
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, good effort. Good effort, lad.
You can stay. You can remain. You can remain.
The foundations are there, Celo. The foundations are there. We've got a coach that can help you.
Yeah, it's a very promising result this early in the season. I reckon there's something to build on there. Obviously, a few lessons to be learned, but not bad. Not bad.
Back to the drawing board. There's always next week, boys. You know?
Oh, wow.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had the six members in here. It's good to have everyone here, guys. Just to kick off, Richard, I just want to say something. I've got a new nickname for him, guys. I played with him yesterday, and he was through and through a Fernandinho. So now I'm going to call him Richardinho because there was a player who was away on the break, and he just clips this guy's feet, and he was gone. It was a beautiful tactical foul. He pissed the player off so much that the player then swore at the ref for giving the foul. He got the player sent off while stopping him from scoring a goal. It was unbelievable. Real Fernandinho sort of stuff.
Tactical foul, boys. Look, I mean, it was definitely a foul. The ref should have played advantage because the guy would have scored. But I wasn't complaining. They gave the foul. We ended up getting a point. Tough game, and we managed to hold our own. So I'll take it.
All that matters is a 3 points, eh? That's
a single point. But I did
score it's just 1 point.
I did score 2 of the 3 goals. Did a little cheeky Lingard celebration for the second goal. So yeah, it was lovely. It was lovely.
Guys, we didn't see footage of this stuff, guys. We need someone there on the sidelines. You know what I mean?
Is that you volunteering, Celo? I think Celo. Everyone heard that. He's volunteering. We got the equipment. You can just come down there and push play. That's all we need. Yeah?
And the nice thing, Celo's so tall, you don't need that awkward crane situation. He can just stand by the side.
Get a great angle.
Get everything in one.
Yeah. Well, that's something else we got. Celo's also a tripod in his spare time, guys. Before we kick off, Nick, how's your soccer training going with your team? Just so you can give the people an update quick, and then we're going to speak about Champions League.
We're doing all right. We fortunately top of the log after 7 games. We've won 6 and drawn 1. So
that's my manager.
Listen, it makes me feel a little bit happier that a team I coach does better than the team I support. So I tend to put my focus there.
When are you going to put in the request that they change the kit colors to black and white?
If we do that, we're in big trouble. And funny enough, if all goes well, we'll face a team in the B stream because they've had to cut the league into 4. And the top of the table team there in the B stream is Newcastle United. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing if we play them in the next round. So
that's very cool.
It'll be quite awkward. But the boys are coming all right. We've got a bye week this week, so we've given them the weekend off. So yeah, it's hopefully good things, good signs of good things to come. But we just have to keep working. The good start doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, Maddie, you'll tell you know a lot about that.
Well, I mean, Newcastle had a decent start to the Premier League season as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Remember, we just thought we said it. We actually said they were going to reach their 38 points very soon, and they got to 30, and they just and
then they stopped getting points.
No,
they were like,
we're not even at
this points thing.
We're not even at 30.
How many points clear are you boys at the top?
We're 5 points clear.
Okay, decent.
Yeah, so we're 5 points clear. We dropped points in the first game, which probably was one of our easier games. But probably that new season jitters for some of the boys probably creeped in that game. But I think we've settled in now. We've got 2 players in the sort of top 6 of the goal scoring charts as well. So yeah, we don't concede many goals. We've conceded 3 in 7, and we've scored 17 in 7. So it's not a bad, not a sort of bad start.
Yeah.
Good. I hope Newcastle are paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, just send Brucey your notes, man. Send Brucey your notes so you can just follow the mantra. What's going on?
Listen,
Nick, you don't know
where would you send them? It's not like he goes to training. You'd have to send him to his house.
Yeah. Apparently he's left. Apparently Bruce is actually. Well, we'll get to it, but he's left Newcastle. He's living in Manchester again because he's getting so much abuse. In the
just
street.
running it from Zoom now, like the rest of 2021.
Yeah, it's probably just running it from Zoom. Yeah, but anyway, what can we do? But yeah, all things are good in Pretoria at the moment, and our first team also won in the week, so they're off to Durban tomorrow. So yeah, everything's good at Tux at the moment.
Oh, good. Nice. Good. Now everyone's got their Tux debrief. I'm sure we've got a lot of people signing for that. If we don't, Nick, you need to find those people. Champions League recap, guys. Who wants to kick this off? I mean, it was 4 games, 14 goals.
I think you should.
Okay. Yeah, nice one. I think
how did Liverpool do? That's the one I missed.
No, because you're the only one who came onto the show that's in the Champions League. The other guy didn't come to the show. The Chelsea guy didn't pitch up. So you're the one to talk.
But let's not forget that I did call PSG doing well. Back when we were saying predictions, I said PSG could pull this off. And so far, first leg only, they're doing the business.
Yeah, and I want to ask you guys in terms before I speak about Liverpool's results, PSG Chelsea final. How do you think that plays out in terms of Tuchel taking Chelsea and you got Poch at PSG?
It only goes one way. First of all, it's a massive assumption that Chelsea are going to get to the final because they still got to get through the semi.
Yeah.
But if they were up against PSG in the final, it would be a bloodbath. We'd have to turn away. We'd have to turn off our TVs. You can't watch that. It's too hurtful.
Also, Matt, I don't know why what you're getting on about because they've got Mason Mount, the world's Ballon d'Or player according to the English media. Am I right?
So, let's be honest. Even if he's the next Lampard, Lampard was good. He ain't going to beat PSG on his own.
And he never won a Ballon d'Or either.
And he doesn't have a Drogba. He doesn't have a Drogba in the team. You know what
exactly.
I mean? He's got
Timo Werner.
Timo Werner. 2 left feet.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a Drogba. Doesn't have a Terry, man. You know that's how you won. That's how you won it. He had a Drogba and
he was part of a whole team. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Not Mason Mount being the best player by far.
Yeah, man, jeepers. But I mean, you mentioned on Twitter, Celo, that you were happy with, or most impressed rather by Vinicius from Real Madrid. No. Were there any other players that were standing out for this Champions League sort of week, the first leg, that stood out apart from Vinicius?
So I didn't watch the Dortmund Man City game, but from what I heard is that Jude Bellingham had an amazing game against City. He's only 17 years old, so he was showing everyone why there was such a big deal about him and why Man United wanted him and Dortmund wanted him. So he proved disallowed. Yeah, you see, he got a disallowed goal.
That was a rubbish decision.
You know, so I think, and a lot of English people are now saying that he should be in the Euro squad because he was in this previous squad because he had been between the two. He had been in the under-21s and then got promoted, and then people thought they was going to be back in the under-21s, and then now he's still with the senior squad. So I think that's another player who's been impressive. The youth again, man. Kids under the age of 21 are showing themselves.
About that going to the Euros, to be honest with you. They did that to Walcott. I think it was to the World Cup, and it ruined him. Look where he ended up. I don't know. I'll bring him into squad slowly.
Do anything to Walcott.
Yeah.
Didn't make it worse. It didn't make it better.
But
you're forgetting an important ingredient there, Nick. Walcott was at Arsenal. He went to Arsenal. That's where his career went downhill.
Just the same.
To be fair, man, it will either make him or break him. If he has a bad tournament, you're going to second guess his sort of talent. You know, I mean, I would personally, you know, if England are really serious about winning a Euros, they shouldn't be relying on a 17-year-old to be, in my opinion.
No, true.
I think it's one of those things where if they take him and he doesn't do a single thing, if he just stays on the bench the whole time, because that's kind of what happened to Walcott in 2006. Yeah. He didn't really do anything. And then it's like a wasted tournament. You get to know the players, you get to see the setup. But these days, these players
it's
know
a waste of a space. It's a waste of a space for another player.
But if he comes in and they use him wisely, because the difference between Bellingham at this age and Walcott at that stage, Walcott actually hadn't done much. He hadn't played on big stages in 2006. He'd had a couple of good games for Southampton.
True. Very true.
Bellingham's done it. He's played in a Champions League quarter-final. That's a big high-pressure game, and he showed he's got it. You could have him there and not necessarily play him every game, but bring him on if you want to have something different in a high-pressure game. He could give you something. So there's I think it's something that Southgate should consider, but not necessarily rely upon. You can't build a side around a 17-year-old.
Yeah, and the question is the Liverpool captain going to be available? So I'm guessing, that's
and
probably
Declan
why
Rice might be out as well.
You see, Declan Rice out for 2 months currently. The Liverpool captain is injured. I don't know what's happened to him.
This is shouting out for Jonjo. This is shouting out for Jonjo.
I just
listen. Ask Maddie about Jonjo. Ask Maddie about Jonjo.
I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about that man. I talk about.
No, Jonjo was doing the things last week. He was doing the thing.
Let's be honest. If Jonjo goes to the Euros, it'll be as a hooligan, not as a player.
That's true. That's true. He's in the stands, just like waiting.
He's the Geordie Voldemort, guys.
I don't even know if he will support England. I think Geordie Voldemort just buy shirts and watch games.
Yo, some strong comments coming out early. We're only 10 minutes in. The Geordie Voldemort.
Claudio, how do you feel about your team, man?
Hey, bro.
Hey, man, the selections was a
asking, bit. Can they come back?
The selections were a bit sketchy, man. Starting Keita.
Man, the Keita thing killed me, man. I couldn't understand it. Obviously, he's been impressed by Keita coming back in the training grounds. Obviously, he's seeing stuff we're not seeing there. Thought the man, you could just throw the man into the mix, man for man. I generally don't know what he was thinking. And then he takes him off before halftime because it's not working. So he has a player who's already had a troublesome sort of time at Liverpool, and he gets thrown into the mix there. Now he's come off before halftime. Even if he's not injured, his ego and his flipping confidence is definitely going to take a huge knock. So that's one of the errors that he did. And I also think like him going with Jota up front. Now I know Jota's been really, really great in terms of scoring goals for us. He's been a great impact player. And when he comes off the bench as well, he brings us that energy, right? I just think this game, he should have probably started for Firmino, should have just held the ball up, got into the game a little bit more, brought the other players out wide in terms of Mane and Salah, play the way we normally play, and give the two centre-halves something to think about there for Real Madrid, because they didn't have their two centre-halves. Varane and Ramos were out. So at least if he came short, it would have made those two guys think about it. Do I go with him or do I stay? Playing Jota, who's like for like the other two, we didn't have any of that. We had one attempt, I think, first half. It was really, really, really a huge struggle. And I think at every moment, Real Madrid just looked like they were going to cut us. They looked like a knife in hot butter. And it was terrible. And I also think it was like a step too far for the two centre-halves. It was one of those situations where you're like, okay, you can actually see now Liverpool definitely make shift. You can see that the two centre-halves are out of their depth. They need more experience. They need more time. And it was just one of those things, unfortunately. Look, we did get the away goal, and I think Rich made a comment on it in our group saying away goal something. But as we got back into the game, they scored the third one. And also, guys, Vinicius has scored 4 goals all season, and he scores 2 more in one game against Liverpool. I couldn't understand that. I couldn't understand that.
I was shocked. I thought it was going to miss with the first one.
The kid's getting better, man. The kid has always been erratic, I felt. And I always said that
100%.
he's just not at the level that's required for Real Madrid. But I think that first goal was class. I've never, he's got the potential, he's got the skill, he's got the pace. Just the finishing or the final ball has never been there. Almost like a Sterling at Liverpool.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens with him. He's the most expensive Brazilian teenager. So only good things can happen from this.
Well, he is only 20 still. So, but I don't think when a player like that, I mean, we all saw Michael Owen was lethal at the age of 18. It's just something a lethal striker has or they don't have. But regardless, all the other facets he does have. So whether or not he's out and out or he's just a really great winger, something Real Madrid have on their books, I don't think he's going to do anything at Anfield. But the question is, can we come back according to Pooms? And that, gentlemen, I'm going to put that out to the floor. Obviously, we know Liverpool's record at Anfield's been dreadful. We know there are no fans. And it is 3-1. Do you guys think Liverpool can do something? Or do you think this tie is pretty much dead?
I think they can. 100%. You guys win 2-0, you guys are through. So it's definitely not out of the question at all. Possible. But the problem is your defense. And I don't know if keeping a clean sheet at Anfield is something you guys are capable of doing at the moment. So that's the real issue. But it's definitely not out of the question for you guys to win that game and go through. It's not something it's not a massive mountain to climb, in my opinion. You guys get an early goal, the whole dynamic of the tie changes.
Yeah, and I think the positive when you're looking at it is a 2-goal difference, and we always know 2 goals. It's a false sort of sense of security where you think you're good, and then you concede one, and all of a sudden the other team realizes they're back in the game, and things start shaking a little bit. Wonga, you were going to say something?
No, I think the thing is Liverpool have to go for it. I mean, this game they were playing away, and the line that they were playing was I don't understand why people play such a high line. And every time Liverpool, or most of the time they play the high lines, end up killing them, especially with the defenders that they had. I mean, Aston Villa, when they played Aston Villa and they lost to Virgil van Dijk, it was the same thing. A high line for what? I don't know. And Trent even struggles with that thing. He struggled with that thing probably all season when they played that high line. And today,
Trent had a shocker. Trent was a highway, guys. He was proving why Southgate dropped him.
Exactly.
He was
concede goals. But that's why I think Liverpool are gonna have a very tough time because they need the 2 goals. They're going to go for it. It's not gonna be. I mean, it's there, and Madrid are probably gonna somehow try and feed on that. But it's gonna be a tough one for them.
How confident are you, Clouds, of you guys getting a result?
Oh man, it's been one of those seasons where you just don't know what you're going to get right. It's a bit of, I think Nick mentioned, he said this a couple of times on the show, his metaphors to the lucky packet sort of thing. You don't know what kind of Liverpool's going to show up on the day. So, if Liverpool decide, like I said, Champions League, and I've said this time and time again, there's 5 games, technically 4 games left if they come out of this one at home. So if they're seeing it like 4 games left, the problem is, I think they're just going to set like a cup tie and see what they can get out of it. I'm going to take it optimistically like I always do because that's what I do. I always think there's a chance up until there is no chance, that final minute. And that's the thing of being a Liverpool fan. Every season's your season up until it isn't. So we'll see what happens from that perspective. But with regards to the other sort of teams left in the tournament, guys, if we can just make bold predictions now as to who you think are going to go through, we're going to start with Nick, Selo, Wonga, Matt, and then Rich. If you guys can make the predictions for the other ties, let's hear it. Let's go, Nick.
I think, as much as PSG won that game, I think your PSG can also be a knife at the back Like, I think when the reverse tie comes, I don't see Bayern out of it. I think they're going to come through, even though they've got the 3 away goals. I think Real Madrid will have probably too much City and Chelsea through to the semis for me. I think it's going to be a good game. The comeback will come, but it will be just not enough for Liverpool.
No, I think PSG will pull through. I think the fact that Lewandowski isn't available still, that's the part.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if Serge Gnabry will be back. If Serge Gnabry is back, then they have a chance because he's their second best attacker. Because I feel that Kingsley Coman and Sané can't give them the goals that are required. But if Serge Gnabry is back, then it'll be a plus. I think he's got COVID or something. And then the other one, Chelsea will go through. Man City will go through, and Real Madrid will go through. And then my final is Real Madrid versus PSG.
So that's the final, but who wins the final then?
So much for being a Premier League show. You must promote Premier League teams there, bro. I always support the Premier League team, bro.
So you telling me that Sunderland is in the Champions League semi-final, and you're saying Sunderland will get to the final?
Can I tell you something? I've never ever seen a Mackem in Milan. I've seen a Geordie in Milan, but never a Mackem, so you don't have to worry about that. You never have to worry about that. No, I always like the English teams doing well in Europe, but Sunderland, it's never going to happen. They need to climb out of flipping 2 leagues there, so not going to.
What if they pass you on their way up, bro? Like...
Don't tempt fate, bro. Don't tempt fate.
No, bro.
Right, Bonga, let's hear it. Bonga, what do you think?
With the Real Madrid, Liverpool, definitely Real Madrid. I think they will pull it through. I just think Liverpool have too much to do. And then the other, there's what PSG, Bayern Munich. I'm favoring Bayern Munich. I just don't. I mean, watching the game, I think if Bayern Munich can sort out what they did in the defense, I think they can go through. I think the first goal also shouldn't have. That's an easy save. Okay, last goal I think was the best goal. Second goal they were sleeping. I think Bayern Munich. I don't know. I just feel watching the game. I just feel Bayern Munich can take it through the next leg. But yeah, Lewandowski is a big loss to them. And then Chelsea, no questions asked. Chelsea are through. And then what's the last game? Man City also be a difficult one. But yeah, I think Man City. I would like to see Dortmund go through. To be honest with you, I thought they played well in the first leg. But yeah, I'll just say, let me say Dortmund. I mean, I just like the way they played that game. I'll say Dortmund to beat Man City.
Nice changing his mind on the spot here, right? It's not who you would like, it's your prediction, bro.
It is. I mean,
you misunderstand what it's like to be an Arsenal fan, bro.
Wonga does that every week, guys. Every week he's like, Aston Villa's playing against someone. I think Aston Villa's going to lose. It's all about what you want for the battle for ninth. It's about what
the battle for ninth. Sad time.
Dortmund have it in them, folks. Dortmund have it in them.
They do have it in them. I agree with you. Matt, let's hear it.
Yeah, look, I mean, on the one hand, Wonga's making a good point. If we're saying Liverpool have a chance, then so do all the other sides who are just one goal behind, So I think PSG are going to pull through. I'm back in Poch. I want him to do well. And I think as much as Dortmund are going to come out firing, they don't have Lewandowski. And PSG have Mbappe and Neymar who are on fire. And I think I do think they're going to pull through. I don't necessarily think it'll be this tidy kind of 2-0 thing. I think there's going to be goals in it, but they'll come through. I think Liverpool are out. I think Real Madrid are going to put. The problem is for Liverpool is that they can't afford to concede a single goal, and they're not going to be solid enough to keep a clean sheet against Real Madrid. So I think that Liverpool. I think they'll put out a fight. I think they might win on the night, but I think it might be like 3-2 or 2-1. So therefore, not enough to keep them in. And I think that's the challenge. The fact they're going to struggle to keep a clean sheet on that game. I think City are going to pull it off against Dortmund. I think Pep, he'll get to the semis, whether or not he'll go all the way. It's his thing. It's his big thing to try to win a Champions League with someone other than Barca. So we'll see. And the Chelsea, I think will go through. I think Porto. There's a part of me, as you know, Clouds. I got a big connection and affinity with Portugal, and I'd love to see Porto do well against Chelsea, just because I'd love to rub it in.
Listen. Yeah. Wasn't your father-in-law Benfica fan? So I don't know what.
Yeah, he was. But it's like I feel more affinity for any Portuguese side than I do for Chelsea.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'll take
that. That's fair.
But I think but I do think Chelsea are going to come through. So I think it's Chelsea, Real Madrid, PSG, Man City are my 4 going through.
Cool.
And which actually, if you think about it, it's been a while since there's been 2 English sides in the semis. I think it's been quite a while. Not since the year Liverpool. Well, I suppose not that long ago actually. Since the year Liverpool won, when it was Spurs and Liverpool both in the semis. So, yeah.
Yeah, you forgot about that one. That was your own team in the final, did you? It's like a distant memory already.
I couldn't remember who we lost to. I was like, who beat us in the final? Who was it?
No, he even forgot that he was in the final. That's how bad it is at their club.
Yeah, dude. They just don't know what's real and what isn't real.
I like to ask Arsenal fans, when's the last time you were in the final of the Champions League?
Ooh, Wonga.
Can any of us remember?
League titles.
2006.
Yeah, but that's a big question. Champions League. What's going on there? Champions League, though, yeah? Yeah? Wongs?
But Man United been in the final for long, man. Man United 2012, I think.
Yeah, 2012. Yeah, we haven't been in the final for long. But yeah,
that's like before Richard was born.
Okay, let's hear it from the baby in our squad there. Richie, let's hear what do you think is going to happen there from Champions League?
So from my side, I think Chelsea will go through against Porto. I think that's one of the easier ones to call. In terms of the Bayern PSG game, I just think, earlier a couple of weeks ago, I said that Bayern were my favorites to win, but without Lewandowski, it's just a completely different ball game. So I think PSG might take that one. It's going to be a very tight game because PSG have shown that they're susceptible as well. When you've got people like Choupo-Moting banging in headers against you, it's a tough one. But I expect PSG to come through that one. And then for me, I fancy Dortmund against City. I must be honest. City have gone out historically in the quarterfinals. They're playing against a side that's got an away goal, that's got a proven goal scorer in their team. Marco Reus is also there doing some decent stuff. So I fancy Dortmund to win that one and come through. And then Liverpool, Real Madrid. For me, Real Madrid, only because Liverpool's defense just can't keep clean sheets at the moment, and they're going to need to do that. So yeah, for me, it's Dortmund, PSG, Chelsea, Real Madrid.
So are we saying collectively that the one where there's the most disagreement is the Dortmund City one? Is that the one where... Because everybody else kind of says Liverpool's out, Porto's out.
Listen, guys, I just want to say, look, about the Porto scenario here, we know the English are getting loud. This is the best time. The Portuguese love this. They love the ultimate underdog status. And Porto were playing with without two of their key players. Sergio Oliveira wasn't there, the guy who controls things. He's coming back. And there was one other guy, I forgot who it is. He was also missing. So we can all write
and
that.
And Porto had their chances.
And they had their chances. Let's not forget that. And then emotional side. So just kick the bruised animal while they're down. They're going to come back and bite at the ankles.
Why are they playing the legs in Sevilla? I was confused by that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Oh no, because
travel ban.
Portugal's
a travel ban to go to the UK. Yeah. So then they're on the UK red list. So then it's
true. So
how did they decide who gets the away goals from the first leg?
Is it not the other way around, Matt? Is it not the other way around? I think
is it the other way around?
It might be. I know the UK have their own strand now, Kent strand.
I think it's definitely the own. It's definitely the other way. The Portuguese were just like, no, please don't infect us. I think that's what's going on.
Like even our South African players that were playing for Bafana, when they went back to Portugal now, they've been in quarantine. And they couldn't play for their clubs this past weekend. So their quarantine only ends, I think, today or something. So yeah, like 3 of them couldn't
what a treat, though. What a treat. Go away on international duty. You get a 10-day holiday coming back into the country from your job. That's great. Your job's to go out, then you get another. I would do that. Have some nice espresso there in Lisbon. Keep yourself in the room there. Delightful.
Nice sometimes you can't work from home, Like if I go on quarantine, nothing changes.
That's so true.
Yeah. So Claudia, your predictions, nothing?
My predictions, okay, look, I'm just gonna be blunt about this. Liverpool have a 70-30 chance here. You guys are correct in saying
are they the 70 or the 30?
Yeah.
30.
For me, it's always 70, but realistically, it's the 30. It's definitely the 30. Look, we got the 30 chance, but look, like you guys said, the likelihood of them keeping a clean sheet is gonna be hectic. Yeah, there, Carlo, I like you. Thank you, Matty. You watch.
Carlo's a Porto fan that I'm related to by marriage. He's otherwise a very good chap.
I think it's definitely an uphill battle, and I think the sort of season's thrown Klopp out with a lot of things. I think he's getting a lot of decisions wrong, and it's been really, really tricky for him. So, like I said, 30% chance of them making it through. But from the others, I agree with Wonga to a certain extent, saying Dortmund can do something. So I'm not going to write them out. I think they can do something against City. And then the others, PSG. I think Poch he's got his eye on the final there, and I don't think he's going to mess it up the second time if he makes it all the way. Between Chelsea and Real Madrid, if that has to happen in a semi-final, Chelsea they're staying. They're not. And I've said this on Tuesday, and they proved me wrong. Still on the next day. So
true.
Maybe I should say they're going to do all right. So I'm going to keep quiet there. But next thing we're going to talk about, guys. Celo wants to talk about this briefly. And that's largely because in Spain, it's not quite the situation we have in England where it's a runaway sort of league. We've got 3 teams, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid, within 3 points of each other. And it's pretty much crunch end of the season. Celo, you open up this sort of rhetoric over here, and let's hear your thoughts because you want to really dive into this.
It's El Clasico. It's El Clasico this weekend. The biggest match in Europe, right? It is, right?
Yeah.
Claudia's gonna say it's the other match that's like some people skulls or something, but blue and red.
I thought Benfica is bigger than the Benfica Porto is bigger than the El Clasico, man. Come
Newcastle, Sunderland's huge. I think even Millwall, West Ham's even bigger than
that. the biggest grudge matches. You see, for me, the best grudge matches are the one where the match is the only prize. Like El Clasico, both sides are going for the league, so they can lose a game and still win the league. Like Nick said, Millwall, West Ham, those teams aren't winning nothing. So the biggest thing they get to do is beat each other. And it's like the same at the moment. Like, and I'll be honest, same Spurs, Arsenal at the moment. Like, neither of us are probably going to win stuff this season. But then we get to beat each other. That's like the big deal. So for me, the best grudge matches are the one where the only thing to win is bragging rights. And that's why El Clasico, like, it's cool, but it's also like, it's only this year because for once there's 3 teams in the running. Like, normally it's just the 2 of them running away. It's all a bit boring. You know, it's like the 2 biggest guys in the pub having a boxing match. No one else cares, man. Just give me another drink.
Man. It's refreshing to have Matt back on the show, guys.
These metaphors are unreal, Matt. I'm loving it.
Like he's just, I don't know how he thinks, guys. I can see why he's like
poetry in motion.
I think you can see that his mind works differently to the rest of us because he's just thinking something, and he's like 2 chubby guys in a pub. Putting each other up. I saw the beer. You know what I mean? You know, so that's pretty cool. But I think with La Liga, it is refreshing to have a race where Atletico is involved as well, and then just 3 points between the top 3. But Atletico has actually blown the lead because they had about a 13 point gap on Barça and Real Madrid. Barça is the only club in Europe that haven't lost in 2021. In a league match, so they're doing quite well this season. Ronald Koeman is actually trying to prove himself and actually show that he's the right man to come in for next season. So I think it's going to be a tough game. Real Madrid, it's unfortunate that obviously they had to play during the week, so they'll be a bit tired. So it'll be a tough game.
Not on that game from Tuesday. They weren't tired. They were coming out halftime laughing at the ref. I thought that was a joke. I couldn't actually.
That was a joke. That was a joke. That was so funny. They were just laughing like, look at these guys, these English guys. But I think this league title will definitely go down to the wire because Atleti they're playing Real Betis this weekend. Luis Suarez is out. But do you guys feel that? Do you guys think that Simeone will get it over the line, or will it do a bottle?
Nah, he's
not going to struggle. I mean, without Suarez, and I mean, if they really close the gap by that much, I think it's written that they're going to bottle it. It's going. I don't know what it's one point now. One. It's late.
No, 2 points. They got a 2 point lead on Barcelona.
Yeah, 2 point lead on Barca and 3 points lead on Real Madrid.
It's a one lead.
Sorry, it's one on Barca and 3 on Real.
Oh, 1. Sorry. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so it's tough.
Man. Pull out your iPads.
We deal in facts here.
Pull out the iPads. Pull out the iPads.
You guys missed it. Wonga updated his facts when Up the Rich came with the stats. He disappeared, Up the Rich, and then all of a sudden Wonga's like, nah, I'm coming back here with my iPad. And now he's got the thing sitting there. He looks up, he's like, no. Yeah, here we go.
He's there like now. He's like this every day, man. Every day. But who do you guys? So let's just get a prediction from everyone. Who do you think is going to win La Liga? Starting with Wonga, Matt, Rich, Nick, myself, and then Claudio.
Hey, bro. For me, I honestly think Barcelona will end up taking it. They've been playing. Let me say Messi as well. Messi and the team have been playing quite differently. You can see there's a lot of intent now when they're playing. As of just before, I think it was like towards the end of the last season, everything just looked like a downhill. And then for Atletico being on the top, I mean, Barcelona literally gave them goals by selling them Luis Suarez, and now the man is injured, and I think they'll feel that.
Imagine they kept him. Could you imagine they kept Suarez? What a bunch of knobs. Anyway, keep going. They literally made it exciting for everyone else. They made it exciting. That's what they did.
No, you're right. They literally made it exciting. So, I think Barcelona take it. Madrid, I don't. Yeah, Benzema's doing well. But sometimes you watch them and you just don't know if they're going to win or lose. And sometimes they're losing matches they should be winning. And they're not really on a run at the moment. As well as Barcelona, you can see it's actually, like you said, they haven't lost this year. So that's why I think they'll end up taking it.
Yep.
I just want to see Atletico win it because I want to see Simeone get arrested for stealing the bus on the Streetwise tour and like driving it through the front of the school or something. Like I just feel like the world needs that. You know, we've had such a hard time. 2020, 2021.
The world doesn't need it. He needs it. He needs it more.
And me
than
too.
The
I need that kind
yes.
of. And also, I think Nick needs it. I think Nick needs to see what it happens when a team gets a 12-point lead, gives that up, and then still wins the league. Because obviously Newcastle.
Just to see what they should have done.
Kevin Keegan.
They've also got the striped kit. You know, they got the striped kit as well. So it'll be.
But they got the right colored stripes. You see, they got the red stripes, the red and the white.
Yeah,
Kevin Keegan can hopefully take a page out of his book then.
Yeah, exactly. But guys, if we're going to talk about Kevin Keegan, just tell Richard who that is, because remember, it's like, you know, it's pre-2000.
It's tough being rich, guys. It's tough being rich.
Rich, today. What's going on here? These blokes,
they're being so relentless on Rich, man.
It's fine. It's because my team's fourth in the Premier League. It's Rainey's out. It's okay.
That's exactly correct. You're right, Rich. That's what happens.
I'm not bitter at all. I'm completely cool about it. Whatever. I don't care.
All right, Rich. What do you think is going to happen in La Liga?
So for me, I'm going with Barcelona because they don't have to worry about Champions League. They can focus completely on La Liga. And for me, I think Koeman's cooking something very nice there at the moment, and they're playing good football. He's getting his philosophy through to the players. So yeah, I think Atletico have bottled it, in my opinion. And I think Barcelona's small blood now. And I think Real Madrid, they've got their thoughts on Champions League. Okay, if they get knocked out, cool, they can focus on La Liga. But I fancy Barcelona to win it. So that would be my choice.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Can I be honest? Very honest.
Yeah.
I don't
know. I thought you were having a moment.
Honestly, don't give a shit.
The two big guys in the pub again, man. No one cares, man.
Honestly, I'll be honest. There's one reporter here in South Africa. I think his name's Clint Roper, and he just badmouths and trashes the Premier League and states that the La Liga is the best league in the world because they play this type of football and they've got these quality players, and it just pisses me off. And I don't really care. I don't even know where the guys are standing on the log. I was gonna say I support Leganés.
Yeah,
because we've support the team. At least pronounce the name correctly.
No, we've got
to do the list on the S's.
We've got one of our players on loan there. So one of I think Lejeune plays for Leganés there in La Liga. So that's the team I support. But yeah, I don't really give a shit. But if it means that underdog wins let's go with Atletico.
I love it. I love Nick, very.
Yeah. If I had to choose a Spanish team, I'd choose Bilbao because I saw that video on Twitter of that principal in Bilbao teaching the kids how to do the
song.
Yeah. And they're going I was like, that's what I want. And I showed that to my kids, like that's what you should be doing at school. I hope you're not wasting your time.
That's proper ideological brainwashing at an early age, and that's how it's meant to be done.
That's what football is, man. You know?
That's what I love about Bilbao, man. I think Barca will get over the line. I think I watched the game on Monday. Somehow they just got a goal in the 91st minute when I thought they were going to draw. But so I think Barca will do it.
I can only assume, though, just thinking from a sort of perspective of being fatigued, the longer Real Madrid stay in the Champions League, the probably lesser chance they have of. I'm just thinking.
Sure.
Those two teams out of
Europe. Pretty much what Rich said. I think Rich nail on the head there. He's got. I mean, Zidane likes the Champions League. He knows how to win it. Why not put the eggs in that basket in Barcelona? They've, like Rich said, the sharks in Barcelona, they're smelling the blood. So yeah, Atletico Madrid. I just think he's killing João Felix. He just needs to free the boy, poor Diego Simeone. Just free him. Please free my little Portuguese talent there, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, he needs to leave.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I just don't. Who's going to pay him more than 110 million euros, whatever it is, for that guy now? Though I think he's stuck there for a good 2 years or something. Anyway, guys, something that most people come onto the show for. This is a bit of a shocker. We're going to talk about the Premier League now. Imagine.
I'm licking my lips.
But I've got a thing for you to think about, Celo.
Sounded like a chicken licking ad there. That's what it sounded like.
I've got some Jose Mourinho on my plate.
But you realize, of course, Celo, that you guys have to win 5-0 just to draw with us this season. I mean, not that I'm going to harp on about it, but we did beat you 6-1 already. So if you win 2-0, whatever.
He's got a point.
Whatever.
I think that's goal difference for the league. I think, yeah.
So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to let you think about that and think about how
he's back.
Even victory could be defeat.
Still, he hasn't been on the show for a while because he's been saving these for the show.
I have. I've been sitting there, like just I write it down and then I keep it.
Celo, Oli should ask David Moyes how to beat Spurs. He'll tell him how to do it.
That's great. That's great. Lovely. Yeah, you should write.
Maybe David Moyes left a notebook behind before he left, like somewhere in the office. You can go check all the drawers.
How to beat Spurs? No, true. Definitely. I think you should hit him up.
Okay, guys. Before we start licking lips and getting straight into the chicken licking ad, let's. We've got Darren. We know he's a huge Leeds fan. Let's speak about the Man City Leeds game and what we think the outcome is going to be here. Largely in terms of we know Pep Guardiola is focusing on the Champions League this coming week. Does Bielsa have a chance to get something here? I think Man City are 3 games away or 4 games away from winning the league title.
I think City have got their head down now. They're all business. And Leeds are a good side. They've had some impressive results over the season, but I think Man City. Man City are gonna. As much as they've got their mind on the Champions League, they've actually got their mind on the 4 trophies that they want to win. And I think they're going to take this very seriously. They've also got the squad depth to go in and do a job. They're at home. I think this is going to go one way. I don't think City will overexert themselves. I don't think they're going to score 16 goals, whatever, but I reckon they're going to do the job. And Leeds
I could easily see... I could easily see this game could easily end like 5-2 to City, and I wouldn't be surprised. Like I expect Leeds to probably score 1 or 2, but I expect them to concede 4 or 5. You know, they're that type of side. They are so open in midfield. It's even from game week 1 up until now, they haven't really changed at all. Bielsa is very stubborn. He's going to stick to his ways, and there are times where they will attack and they'll leave maybe 2 guys back. And then one player can pick it up from the edge of the box and run straight through the Leeds team and score. So it could easily be a 5-2 or 6-2 or something like that.
But the thing is, when Leeds have their off days, they don't score goals either. Like I mean, Spurs haven't had a great season. We beat them 3-0, I think it was. And it's they when they're not firing, they don't score either. They're so open at the back that they can't even build anything and score some goals. They just because they're not really a counter-attacking side. They're like an all-out attack side. So when they don't have the ball, they're just getting murdered. And the side like City, they're gonna struggle. I think City are gonna. They've got the bit between their teeth now.
I think with City, they could win the league in the next couple of games. As you said, they've got 4 trophies to win. He's going to want to win the first one as quick as possible, because then it just becomes one less sort of thing to worry about, because they can lose the rest of their Premier League games. After that, it's not an issue. Then they just got to focus on sort of, what is it, a semi-final? No, it's 2 finals. There's still a semi-final of the FA Cup.
Yeah, team against Chelsea.
A final against Spurs, and then potentially a semi-final in the Champions League.
Yep. And to answer Pum's question, they need 11 points to win the league. So that's 4 games pretty much, just to wrap it up. And if they get the 3 points against Darren's Leeds... it's funny that I'm saying Darren's Leeds instead of Lucas's Leeds. Hey, Darren. Anyway, but 3-2.
It might also be less than that, because if Man United drop points, it might be done sooner.
True.
So if Spurs go and get a result,
there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that Man United will win 8 games in a row. Definitely no guarantee. Yeah. Man United can stay undefeated away from home, but to win 8.
Forget about the 8. We're going to talk about just this weekend, see if they can do that. I think let's talk about the Burnley Newcastle game now.
Oh,
it's huge.
Massive game for the team.
Listen, I told you that lucky packet analogy that you spoke about earlier was pretty much us against Spurs. We were like men possessed.
Sorry, I just want to stop you there. You see, Guys, are you realizing that he realized I use his analogy and he needs to throw it back in there? He needs to claim it. It's your. We know it's your analogy. You can have it.
Newcastle.
But it's his.
Joelinton turned into a prime Alan Shearer as well. So
exactly,
listen, it's not much of a lucky packet. It's more so like, fuck, am I going to get a surprise once a month? You know, so we got our surprise for our month. So
sounds long-term relationship. I don't know.
The difference is with a lucky packet, there's always at least one good thing in there. But with a Newcastle, sometimes you put your hand in and nothing comes out. You just pull out a stump, like you know, like
yeah, no, it's a joke. But listen, I looked at the lineup and I was sort of pleasantly surprised that he sort of went with guys that have been there, done that, sort of from the area, who have gone down with us and sort of brought the club back to where they were. You know, we had Matt Ritchie back, we had Murphy, we had Longstaff, one of the Longstaff brothers inside the midfield, and we just sort of looked. We caused Spurs a lot of trouble. You know, their defense was sort of scrambling at times. The class from Spurs was evident. You know, I mean, 3 goals were scored in 6 minutes, Matty? And we just looked, but we still looked dangerous. You know, we still had a lot of the ball in the second half. And I think rightly so, we probably deserved result was maybe a draw. You know, some would say, you know, it was probably a winnable game because Spurs were there for the taking. Not that we deserved it, but they were there for the taking. If we had better quality on the pitch, the team could have done them. And I think that goes with what Mourinho said. So if we can rock up like that against Burnley, it's possible. But we don't do that. This is Newcastle United. So we're going to play against a far inferior team in a Burnley, who also need points, by the way, to keep themselves safe.
Yeah.
So if we rock up like we rocked up against Brighton, we got no chance. But if we rock up with a Wilson that's potentially back, and a Joelinton who's, I don't know, he scored a goal, but guys, any striker should be scoring that goal. The man celebrated
until the Spurs game. That's what upset me.
He scored.
I saw him on there.
He only scores against Spurs though. He scored 3 Premier League goals. 2 of them have been against Spurs. And then the other one was a deflection. The other one was going to like the keeper and then deflected off a defender's ankle. I can't recall who. I think it was against Southampton. Against Palace, yeah. So those are his 3 goals in a nutshell. So I mean, if we can get the players who want to die for the club and sort of fight for this sort of fight all the way to the end, then we've got a chance. And if we played like we played against Spurs, we should be beating a very limited Burnley team, in my opinion. But as we all say, and as I've said the whole season, anything is possible. But we really need the 3 points now. We really do. Because if Fulham beat Wolves on Friday night, we're going into the bottom half playing that game on Sunday.
But then it's a huge one. Interesting. Because if you get that win against Burnley, you're 1 point behind Burnley.
Yeah. And then Brighton all of a sudden gets sucked back into it. So...
yeah, it is a huge one. And I think for me, the biggest risk is also that the difference for Newcastle when they went up against Spurs seriously took their foot off the gas. Like they have done countless times this season, games where for whatever reason they thought they were going to win it by 1 goal, despite all evidence to the contrary. They took their foot off the gas and gave Newcastle the opportunity to come back. Burnley aren't going to do that. Burnley are going to be going, even with their limited side or whatever, they're going to be pushing until the 90th minute. Yeah. And that's when, during the course of this season, that's when Newcastle have come unstuck. But I think the scary part is I still suspect Newcastle could pull this off. I think they could end up surviving. And then they're going to sign up Steve Bruce and keep him around. And because
look, he's staying either way, though, Matt. That's the thing. He's staying. But the thing is, they've come out saying, there's word that even if they get relegated, Ashley believes Steve Bruce is the right man to bring them back up.
Because he doesn't want to pay him. He doesn't want to pay him the money that he's got. So Bruce,
if they go down, because an offer will come, Bruce will go. He'll go somewhere else.
Get Eddie Howe in before Celtic take some guys. Before Celtic.
If you were Eddie Howe, would you take a Newcastle offer? Would you wait for Celtic?
No.
He's reading the same gossip we are.
That's true. That's true.
I don't think anyone takes a job under Ashley until Ashley's gone. I don't think you take a job.
Yeah, you're only going to get the likes of Bruce. you're going to replace him with someone ever more hideous.
I'm surprised his best friend Rio Ferdinand doesn't sign up because he's got so much to say about Newcastle buying the club back from the owner. That's an interesting one. But one thing I've realized from this whole conversation, though, Nick, is that Pooms has your back because he says Newcastle are going to do the business.
Yeah, he's my boy. I'll buy you a beer next time I see you, mate.
Right, guys. Rich, this one's a big game because of what's at stake here. West Ham versus Leicester City. I mean, it's fourth place versus third place. You've got Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool, even Everton to a certain extent, all breathing down the neck for that fourth spot. How are you feeling about all of this, Rich?
Look, it's a game that we can definitely win, and we've shown earlier in the season that we're capable of beating Leicester. We had an absolutely amazing performance at the King Power earlier in the season where we just tore them to pieces. And to be honest with you, I would have been feeling a lot more confident if we had Declan Rice and Mikel Antonio in our team. And I think missing those two is a massive, massive blow for us. So I'm not as confident as I would have been. But, I look at the likes of Jesse Lingard, who can't put a foot wrong at the moment. Souček's still absolutely solid in the middle of midfield. Bowen can score goals on the counter-attack. And Leicester, they've been blowing hot and cold this entire season. You honestly never know what type of Leicester side is going to show up. So if we catch them on a slightly off day, we can easily get 3 points. And then suddenly we're 1 point behind Leicester and 1 point behind third place, which is absolutely wild. So I think the incentive is there for us to go out there and get a result. And I think the mood in the camp at the moment is at an absolute sky high. So we've got to go in there. And for me, at the moment, I'm starting to dream. Earlier in the season, I still said, there's still a long time to go. But the bottom line is we're 8 games away from the end of the season, and we are right there. So we may as well give everything now.
Yeah.
I know.
Why don't you just stick Noble in there in place of...
He's playing. He has no choice. He has to play.
There's your savior, bro.
The thing is, if Noble starts, we all lose.
I know he's retiring. He's retiring, but if you make Champions League, please just give that guy a Champions League debut, bro.
But
please.
Remember back in the day when Beardsley used to still play for Newcastle, and it was like he looked so old. Like he used to come on the field, and it was like, how is that man there? For me, that's what they're doing with Noble. It's like he's there for sentimental value, and it's like I think that's cool. I think he's been playing football for Richard's whole life, and I think that's something to be admired. Like, I think they should keep him around. I mean, and you got to imagine a player like that behind the scenes.
He's only giving a go because he's the oldest guy on the team. That's exactly his job. You know what I mean? The oldest and the youngest.
He dreams of being 23. Is it Rich? 23, right? Yeah. He dreams of being 23 again.
I don't.
He wishes he was your age. No, he wishes he was your age because the latter part of the recently Spurs have been all right. So if he was your age, his whole career supporting Liverpool wouldn't be as bad. Now, he's taking everything else prior to that into consideration.
Yeah? You said Liverpool there, Klaus.
Is it Liverpool?
Is it a bit
on the brain? It's on the brain. It's hard swords.
At times tough at the family club, man. It's okay.
That's a fine. I think we need to implement a fine system.
That's a fine. David, I agree. Nick, that's a fine.
You're right. One of many. I'll start keeping tabs as on all the other fines. Right. Let's go, man. Yeah.
Cool. If we start Mark Noble, though, I genuinely fear the worst because. West Ham fans, they love him to bits. And I watched that Wolves game, obviously, and we won the game, cool. Yeah. And everyone's harping on about how Noble had a 90% pass accuracy and he made 2 interceptions. And I've watched that entire game and he hasn't run properly at all. He's passed backwards. He literally is a wall in midfield. So if a guy passes it to him, he gives it back and then he doesn't move. His legs are gone. He cannot drive us forward. If he has to take on Tielemans and Ndidi, whoever they start, Mendy, Shaudry, we will get dominated in midfield. So I think Moyes has got to start Fornals in centre midfield and he's got to be bold and play Fornals and Souček together because if we play Noble, we won't get anything.
Wow. No, but I doubt he'll do that though, hey?
Yeah, he won't. He's stubborn.
He
loves Noble. He loves Noble. And I can't understand how he can't see what the problem is.
So I think he's also like cautious and pragmatic through all of it. He never goes for the big games. He never takes it by the scruff of the neck. That's the worrying thing about this fixture on the weekend, because it is big stakes on the line, and as soon as that's on the line, David Moyes tends to curl up. And I think we've said it time and time again. Yeah. Sorry, Matt.
Well, I was going to say these last 8 games are a bigger test for Moyes than for any of the players. I think he's got the talent at his disposal. As much as it pains me to say it, West Ham have shown they've got the ability to do this. They've got every right to be challenging for top 4, and they've got the right players. Even with the injuries they've got the right players to finish this off and get it over the line. And it's whether or not Moyes is ready to make the big decisions and push for it and take risks in games like this, whether or not it'll tell. And I think it could be it'll be the story of his career as well, because I think Moyes has always been the nearly man. With Everton as well, he came close to this kind of thing a few times, never quite made it. I think this is his last chance to really show that he can compete at that level. So it's a huge test for him, more because a lot of these players, Rice will go on, he'll potentially leave West Ham, and he'll get Champions League. He'll do these things in the future. A couple of other players in the squad are going to do this somewhere else, if not at West Ham. Whereas for Moyes, this is really the last chance to do it right. He's almost as old as me.
This is his chance to win Manager of the Season. Honestly, if he gets us into top 4, he's won Manager of the Season hands down. So he's got Definitely. That on the
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean the next game is a big game.
Yeah, 6 points at the bottom of the table there
against relegation rivals. It's a big one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, only.
Bring out the stats there, Wanga Denga.
Yeah, bring out the history there.
There's only a 13% chance of Arsenal losing this game, I imagine, something like that.
Yeah, the odds are definitely in Arsenal's favor. But yeah, I think a lot will depend on what happens in this game as well. Our injury list was long, but I don't think many of them were major. It's only Tierney that's out for I think it's about a month now. I think David Luiz's back tonight. Smith Rowe is also available. Saka's also available. Xhaka's also available.
Yeah, I see the lineup. I see the lineup has Xhaka, Saka, Willian, Smith Rowe, Lacazette in the middle. Bellerin is captain, Rob Holding, Gabriel Magalhaes, Cedric.
Yeah. So but a lot will depend on what happens today, because I mean, even like when we played Olympiacos, we were through. We were through on that leg, even though we lost the game. But then after that started our losing streak. Well, we never won since then. And now here we are. Looking for a win.
What do you say on Tuesday, Wonga? What do you say? The losing streak always starts at the first game.
The first loss. Always starts with the first loss.
Losing streak always starts.
Losing streak always starts with the first loss, guys. That's what we took away from Wednesday. Losing streak always starts with the first loss.
That's why people are tuning into this. It's the wisdom that we provide.
But no, Sheffield. They've got Sheffield. Look at Sheffield. They've conceded 11 in the last 4 games, and scored 1. And they've lost.
So they're due one, basically. They're due a goal or 2.
Yeah, maybe one.
I mean,
did their run start with the first loss?
Exactly. so their first how to break a losing streak is by winning.
Yeah, your winning streak starts with the first win.
With the first win.
It's true.
It is true. It is.
Yeah.
Those are Goalloungetv facts, no doubt. Facts. Hashtag facts, man.
We could turn that into a.
I want to ask you. You think you have a go at Xhaka. You want him out of the club. But when they played Liverpool, they were missing Xhaka in the midfield. Yeah, that's one thing I found interesting. He's playing tonight, and I see that lineup that Settle's already mentioned. You know, you got Saka, you've got Saka, Xhaka. You've got the other lad, Smith Rowe. Geez, I'm getting confused with all these things now.
Please,
okay, Smith Rowe.
Fine, hey?
Yes. Anyway, okay, So you've got the Smith Rowe. So you've got the 2 youngest players. Your 2 best players this season have been the 2 underpaid youngsters because they're grafting, right? We know that. What's happening there, Wonga? So what is your overall thought, though, if they do lose this game? and you've still got Schalke end of the season. What happens? I mean, if they lose to Sheffield now, you can just see Arsenal fan burning down the club, can't you?
Look, hey, Claudio, at first I went live beginning of the season. I thought, I pretty much I thought maybe I knew what was wrong with the club. Now I'm watching these games. I don't know what the hell is wrong. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Tough,
I'm not even lying to you guys. I can't even guess it. I don't know. They take out Xhaka, we still get crashed. Saka plays well. You say Saka is on a good form, but we are losing games with him. We are losing games with Smith Rowe. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this. Partey, everyone is happy about Partey. We're still losing. Like, we're 10th. We've sat 10th for how long? We're not moving from there. You think something will be different, getting the guy, but we're sitting there. Games where we should be winning. True. Liverpool and them are dropping points. Liverpool drops points. Tottenham drops points. Then you're thinking, okay, maybe this is the day you think the guys will be motivated, then they lose. Then you listen, you read all their comments before the game. Like even now, Aubameyang, before this game with Slavia Prague, I read all these comments. It's the same thing with all the other games that we lose. It's we understand when we down, we listen to the manager. No, our team is feeling very confident. Then they go play, and then like before Liverpool, people are saying they're feeling confident, but first half they didn't even. You could see who's striking for us, Lacazette. All those guys were literally behind the halfway line. No one was even going on a counter. And then you're just thinking, my goodness me, you said you were confident before the game, but you guys are not even trying to go and score against the vulnerable Liverpool. And then you go see Real Madrid, they go try do it against Liverpool, and look, they got rewarded. But Arsenal, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Carlo's onto something here. Carlo's onto something
here.
Bring it in.
I don't think guys knew what they had. It's like they were in a marriage and they thought they got bored with the marriage, so they moved away. And now they're slumming it in the single bars and they're trying out these dating sites, and they're bringing, it's just not working out for them, and they're going to have to crawl back to that husband that they left. Like, I think you guys didn't know what you had. Guaranteed fourth every season. Like, it's boring, but it's stable, bro.
Tough times are lasting. Tough times are lasting for Arsenal. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. And you know what? Your losing streak starts with your first divorce, Wonga. Like, that's what it is. Yeah.
But like if I think about it, looking at like, you see now, I think Man United went through the same period. They lost Sir Alex Ferguson. Liverpool went through the same period when wait.
I'm gonna pull the handbrake.
Long ago, bro.
The same period. Let's define the same period. Like 10th place. You're fighting for 10th place.
United. That's there you go. You cut me. You cutting me.
We fight at least top 7.
Listen, but Man United. Wait, remember Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal always making top 4, correct? Then there was a time when you guys didn't make top 4, and then there was that phase where you guys had to rebuild. Same thing with Man United. They had to go rebuild. And now above that, they're in the Champions League. Liverpool in the Champions League won the league for the first time in a long time. Yeah, it's not about the position. You're not in the Champions League. Like, you went to Europa. Oh, we went to Europa. Liverpool went first. You went to Europa next. I went to Europa next.
But I'm gonna stop you again, because here's the difference.
You're not listening. No.
You're saying rebuilding phase.
Yes.
Man United, their rebuilding phase, they threw money at the problem. Now they threw money. Arsenal throwing money. They're not throwing money. Liverpool rebuilding phase. There was a strategy. Buy the younger players, build them up, get a manager. There was something there. At Arsenal right now, where's the plan? Where's the idea?
But you're not listening. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let me listen.
You're not listening.
You just put us all on the same field.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you guys went through. Yes. Man United went through it. Liverpool went through it. I'm saying, when I think about it, Arsenal also just need to go through this. You need to accept that, look, this Champions League, forget about it. Forget about the league. We need to first sit down and organize what's going to happen. But Arteta, the thing that does worry me is that Arteta and them, they keep on saying that, oh no, there's a plan. No, trust the process. What goddamn process do we have?
Now this
we're supposed to winning games we're losing. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying. So technically, if we're not listening to each other, we're saying the same thing, like a broken marriage. Because the thing is exactly that. At least with the other clubs that you're comparing Arsenal to, there was something that you could see that was building towards something. The problem with Arsenal right now, we can't see what they're building towards. That's the problem. They've just given a long-term contract to a 31-year-old Aubameyang. who, by the way, and that's what I meant by Tuesday by saying they're going to be stuck with another Özil situation. They're going to be stuck there because this guy doesn't give a shit. He doesn't work for the team. All he does is finish, and he only finishes when the ball's in the box for him to finish. If it doesn't get into the box, how is he going to score? So now you're stuck with another player that they're overpaying. Now you're going to bring another player in who's going to want the same wages as him, and Arsenal can't pay those wages. And that's what I mean by like little things like that, being lazy with contracts, going forward, like how they're playing back to the keeper. This is the worrying thing as an Arsenal fan. It's like, where's the plan?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. No, we're gonna go. What I'm saying I'm telling you that I see it, and I'm also worried as a fan. But the thing that concerns me is that these guys are saying that they are in the process, and there's some sort of plan that's happening. But yes, you're watching this team play, and it's so up and down. You don't even know what's happening. I mean, Liverpool when they had Brendan Rodgers, they were still in that phase. But gee whiz. They were lethal. I mean, they brought in Suarez, and they had 3 players up front playing, and every team, I mean, feared them. Not doing much in the Champions League, but I think they weren't even in the Champions League that season, if I'm not mistaken. But they finished pumping in the league.
They finished second once with Brendan Rodgers, and
yes, that's Arsenal, what I'm saying. But
Arsenal haven't even threatened top 3.
Yes, but
exactly.
Yes, you see, that's what I'm saying. But now these guys are in this process, trust Arteta. Okay, I trust you, Arteta. But what the hell's happening? What must I trust you? This is the only thing I'm worried about.
So again, if they lose to Sheffield, if they lose this weekend, which they shouldn't do, but if they do, what do you think happens? What do you think should happen?
See, I think what must happen already what must happen. Already what must happen, Claudio, is because Arteta said it himself. After the game, he was disappointed. He said, this guy shouldn't be playing like that. And all those things, obviously, and everyone knew that. But come against Sheffield, you must show us that you are disappointed in these players. These players must learn. Bruno's never too shy to say it. Like,
never.
You guys are the problem. The next game, he's not going to only say, he's going to show you that that guy was the problem last game. There's no ways I'm going to play that guy the next game. Arsenal, it's all to do, bro.
But that comparison, I love that comparison. I love the fact that you bring up Mourinho. Mourinho does it because he's got the reputation to do it. He doesn't give 2 shits if they get rid of it, and they're going to have to pay him out. Arteta is starting out, and that's the problem here. Arteta, he's not happy with these players. Well, 100% he's not happy, but he can't come out criticizing them because if he loses them, there goes his career before it's even started. That's the issue.
I doubt it. You see, for me, I also think that's the thing. I also don't think he has much to lose with regards to that as well.
Arteta?
No, I don't think he has much to lose. I mean, that guy, look how he's a young manager. He can go flip and start off in
You can always go to the championship to coach.
He can go start off smaller. I don't think he has much to lose. Yes, it's going to be a step down from Arsenal, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine in the lower leagues. He'll be fine. He might go
to the lower leagues with Arsenal still. We don't know. That might be part of his plan. Maybe he wants to learn the game in the championship, but he wants to do it with Arsenal.
And bring it back and bring it up. Bring it back. And win the championship exactly. Sky championship and say
exactly. Then Smith Rowe can win championship player of the year as well, which would be great.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they could sell him for double the amount. Yeah, interesting. You're getting a lot of heat today.
All right, we peppering you tonight, bro. I'm sorry.
Okay, guys, let's. And I like just to end off on this note, Carlos says, hate to say it, but it's sad seeing Arsenal struggle this bad. Still funny as fuck, but they need to do something or it won't last. Okay, so here we go, guys. Spurs versus
Claudio. Can I ask a question? Why did we not talk about Liverpool versus Aston Villa?
I just thought I got quite involved in that Arsenal conversation. I didn't want more airtime right now, but I mean, we can talk about it.
Okay, no. We can save it. We can save. Okay, I was about to say no, man, because we always say on the show that we save the best for last.
Okay, we'll save the best for this weekend for last. Fair point. Liverpool versus Aston Villa, guys. Aston Villa, this isn't as routine as what some might think. Aston Villa 5 points adrift from Liverpool with the game in hand. So technically, if we're going to get really specific with data and everything, technically they have a shot for the top 6 at least. So that's a big game for Villa. Liverpool, obviously, it's a big game. We've just come from a real whipping. We've got Real Madrid around the corner, and we need to fight for top 4. So I don't even know where Klopp's head's at right now. He hasn't been convincing in any of the decisions he's made over the last couple of weeks. So it is hugely worrying. Whatever he does he play Keita after pulling him off at half time? I don't know. Surely you can't take the risk.
Lost 7-2 to them. So the last time, so you obviously want to fix
and we're playing at home. It's all bad.
You have to score 5 goals to equal out and everything. Apparently, that's what's match rules are.
We're seeing league games as 2-leg ties. You guys start with a 5-goal deficit, which is an important thing that we all agree to before we talk about the next game.
And you're guaranteed to concede at least one, so you have to score 6 basically to tie the score. Yeah. So it ain't easy.
Jota needs to find those scoring boots quickly because they
Jota the Schlotter.
The Jota the Schlotter. Claudio, what's happening with money, man?
Yeah, man, that's for me. You know, when we're talking about Liverpool struggling, not going forward and scoring goals, that for me is the issue here. Is all the other seasons we've had, Mane was always, technically in my eyes, always the best player because he was always creating things, always going, always doing the same thing. Now he's still trying to do the same things, but it's just not going for him. And you can see he's not as confident as he was. He's second guessing everything he's doing, but he's still trying to do the same thing. Before it was more natural. He wasn't even thinking about things. Now he's holding onto the ball longer than he should be. He's not passing when he should be passing. You know, he's not taking this. It's all just muddled up for him. And I think he just needs to get that goal. I think it's 9 games now. He hasn't scored for Liverpool, 9 and 10. I mean, it's not kind of Joel Linton sort of drought, but for him, it's huge.
Goalington, what are you talking about? His name is Goalington.
I only know important players. I don't know the minnows. Anyway, but yeah. So I mean, it's Goalington. Did we say Goalington?
That's crazy. Goalington. That's a cracker. That's a cracker.
Do you think he's got that tattooed on the top of his arm? Like,
why do you think they paid £40 million for him? It was for the tattoo.
He probably has a tattoo of goals on his hand, so he doesn't forget what the goals are like. So he probably has a thing like, okay, that's where I'm supposed to score.
So listen, I know the man hasn't scored a lot. Firstly, when he celebrated, he ran to the camera and blew a kiss. So obviously he's not experienced with the whole celebration thing, and he was very excited. And then he shared.
There's no fans to run to.
Yeah, but then he also shared his goal on Instagram. Like everyone tagged his goal, and he shared every fan's tag of his. So it was just repeat on his story on Instagram was of his goal. So he was like, well, I'm only going to do this once a season, so I might as well enjoy it.
It's exactly what I would do if I scored a goal for Spurs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have to share it, man, with everyone. Everyone who's sharing, just
everywhere. We
365 days every day. Do it for the next year until the next season. Yeah.
Sorry, man. We were talking about money. We got into Goalington. So
sorry, money.
Is he also using his Instagram to try agitate for a move next season?
No, geez. Actually, one of the sad things is after the game against Real Madrid, him, Keita, and I think it was Trent got quite. I mean, we know how the guys are on social media, but they got quite serious abuse, and they come out with a sort of racist sort of statements again, saying they don't tolerate all of that. That's the sort of thing we deal with when talking about social media and players. And luckily, they couldn't share the good things; they just received the bad things. So again, it's also something else that they've got to take going into this game, this Aston Villa game. But yeah, man, Aston Villa have nothing to lose. That's the worrying thing. And Anfield's been more open than a brothel on a Saturday night. So that's the issue with everyone coming in. It's just it's worrying. Like I said, I just don't know.
That's a Muti line. That's a Muti line.
Clearly. You have to pay to go to a brothel at Angol for free. That's the.
Well, there we have it. There we have it. I'm not even going to talk more about this again. We're going to move over to this one. The big game for the weekend. Let's hear it.
Yeah, guys. I mean, let's go into this with 6 away goals. So I'm pretty confident we're going to get through to the next round.
Oh, mate.
Like I said, look, if you pull off 5-0 and turned it around, I'll be very humbled. But I think we should be okay.
We've got our away record on the line. So I feel that because we've got our away record on the line, we will continue to be undefeated away from home. Whether it's a draw, whether it's a win for us, we're not losing this game. Ole needs to get one over Mourinho in terms of a win. He did it last season already. So I think he needs to definitely do it this season as well. Just to make sure that we solidify second place, because I think we us in City are confirmed for top 4, or should be. I think the dogfight is still to happen for number 3 and 4, but I think we definitely should be in there. But yeah, man, and also our future striker needs to be kept quiet, so we can get Kane to move to Old Trafford next season,
Yeah,
it's an English revolution. It's an English revolution at Man United. Get Kane, get Rice.
I feel like Stillo, you should just tell him to sign Harry Kane just so he can stick it to Matt on the show. That's it.
True. I'd love it. Actually to Matt and Rich, if I get your 2 best players next season.
Declan Rice and Harry Kane.
Man, guys, I'll buy you guys. I'll buy you guys.
If you did get Kane and Rice, that would make you proper contenders. I think.
Man, I'll buy you guys anything you want.
It would also kind of bring back United's glory days, where they just used to buy everyone's best players and then win the league with them. It's a tradition in English football. But look, I think in all honesty, I'm not feeling mad confident about this game. I think Spurs are going to struggle. I do think that we'll hold on to the aggregate win over United, but I don't know if we'll come out winners on the day. It's going to be tough. I think Mourinho, you know how he gets when he's in a bad mood. He's not going to want to lose to United, so he is going to go. I think the difference with the way Spurs play against the bigger sides and how we've been playing against like the Newcastle game where we took our foot off the gas, we don't tend to do that against the bigger sides. So I think if we can get in early and have some sparks between Kane and Son, score some goals, then I think we could be in with a shout. But if we play kind of behind ourselves and give United space, I think United have got the quality to score some goals, and there's going to be some problems for us. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a tough game. I'm not going to enjoy watching it. I am going to be watching it with Carlo in all likelihood. So that's going to be it's going to make it that extra bit of fun. Hopefully I can keep hold of my shirt. But it's going to be not going to be a good game. I think Spurs are not in a good run of form. We just don't seem to be able to put stuff together. We've got players who are performing well. You look at Kane on his own. He does stuff. He makes things happen. But I just don't know if on the day we're going to have enough to beat United. Because like I said, United are playing for top 2. They're really trying to make a point. Ole's trying to cement the fact that he is the right man for the job. Yeah. I still come back to I don't know if he's got 10 extra points in him next season to win the league. But that's something you guys are going to have to grapple with. And whether or not, if I was Harry Kane, I would go to United or somewhere like City or PSG or Barca. That's another question. But I think there's obviously United are in a situation where they need to make a point by the end of the season in order to set themselves up to buy those players, because they do need to bring in some purchases in order to make them title contenders. And to do that, they're going to have to win games like this to make a point to the people would be, these would be recruits. So I think this is a big game for United, perhaps even bigger for you guys than it is for us, because like I said, we go in there with 6 away goals. I'm feeling okay about the aggregate scoreline.
Matt, I've got a question with regards to Mourinho. Yes. He came out saying, the last game, same coach, not the same players. How do we feel, or how do you feel in terms of moving forward, Mourinho being there, your brother-in-law being Portuguese? How do you feel about all of this stuff?
So I think, look, this is a well-worn path for Mourinho. This is what he does. When things turn against him, he turns the blame on others. It's how he does things. He didn't do it. We're not the first team that he's done it to. He did it at United. He did it at Porto. He did it not at Porto, but he did it at Chelsea. He did it at Real Madrid. So I think this is one of his tactics. We don't know what he does behind the scenes. We don't know if that's just something he says to the media and he manages to keep players on his side behind the scenes. But I think it's a very short-sighted thing to say. I think realistically, because then immediately people are showing times where we beat Newcastle 5-0 and it's like same players, different coach, the Spurs are the kind of team that can score goals. Like that's not something I'm worried about. Like, it's the every Portuguese person. I mean, not every Portuguese person has managed Spurs, Marcus. I think that's a bullshit.
Also, guys, Marcus is making this a habit being tarty. He's always like frigging. The man's alwaate late here. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
He comes in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Jose, he's obviously having a rough time of it at Spurs. That's it. We've seen some fantastic results under him, some really good football under him. I've said it before this season. There's been times where we've felt like a Mourinho side and we've played some fantastic football and had some great results. At the same time, it's clear that there are times in this season where what he's wanted us to do hasn't been the Spurs way. We are just not a side who's going to defend a 1-goal lead. We've never been that way. I've supported Spurs all my life, and I know we're not that team. If we're 1 goal up, I feel nervous the whole time. And again and again and again, we've seen it this season bite us in the arse. So I wish he could see the same team the rest of us see. Look at the attacking talent at his disposal. Just turn us around. If we've got a 1-goal lead, turn it into a 2 or 3 goal lead. And if we end up winning 3-2 or 2-1, that's great. But drawing 1-1, drawing 2-2 again and again and again, you can't tell me that's just the player's fault. You're there every week too. You're standing in front of them. You're watching the same game as all of us. You got assistants and all those guys standing around you looking at the same game. If none of them are able to say to you, this isn't working, then what are we paying for? So, not a great statement from him, but it is what he does. What goes on behind the scenes, I don't know.
True. But now, let's talk about what's going to go behind the scenes with our wallet, the betting corner, guys. And also, just so you know, if we ever get like a guy working or affiliated with the club, we can't call this part of it the betting corner. What we learned last week having Matt on.
Clouds, before we go, I just want to ask Celo, just to get the United perspective quickly. Who do you think Ollie starts up front if he's to get a result? Because obviously Greenwood's been playing decent football now. Do you think you chuck him in?
I think the fact that Rashford is not 100%. I hate the fact that he's starting today because he went off with a niggle. So it would have been better if he was saved for the Spurs game, but he's starting. So if Rashford comes through the game, let's say Rashford on the left, Greenwood through the middle, and Daniel James on the right. Cavani is I think Cavani is more impactful off the bench. Starting, he hasn't really done that well this season. Starting in other games, so I think Greenwood in the middle. Because he's got the confidence, I think we should start with him, and then with Bruno, Pogba, and Fred behind them. So I think Greenwood definitely needs to start. That's the first guy I need to put on the starting lineup because he's got confidence. 2 goals in 2 games. So he needs to start.
Power.
I swear, I forget Cavani plays for you guys every single week, and every time I see his name pop up, it surprises me. I'm like, that's cool. He's still at it.
Because he gets injured so often, but he's been injured, and he's been injury prone. And the thing is, what we don't like is that when they went to Milan, he pulled out of the squad to travel to Milan. So he is protecting himself because he wants to continue to play for Uruguay until the 2022 World Cup next year. So he's always going to protect himself. If he feels that he's about 80%, he won't make himself available. You know what I mean? Whereas now Rashford is 60%, and he's like, "Hey, coach, play me."
Yeah.
Rashford's been playing through back injuries.
To be fair, who gives a shit about England though? Who cares about England?
Man. This guy, the guy who's in 6th place is talking too much now. Is it 5th? I don't know what number. What number is Liverpool, guys?
I can't even.
The thing is, the real winner. It's not about where you finish in the league. The real winner is family. Guys, come.
I'm leaving. Fuck this.
Oh, damn.
Okay, boys, let's go to the betting corner. Oh, Clouds, I thought you were leaving, man.
Oh, man,
you want to take the reins? You can take the reins.
I'm joking.
No, go. We're on the betting corner. Rich, lay it out for us. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do the order?
I don't know which games we betting on. Well, we're going to discuss. So I think you should take it because I don't know. Are we doing every game? Or are we doing like just our team games or what?
Okay, we're going to start with. We're going to start with you, Rich. We're going to go Rich, Matty, Wonga, Nick, Celo, and then we're going to end off with me. And the first game we're going to talk about is Man City versus Leeds. Let's see the predictions there.
5-2 to Man City because Leeds will score, but they are so open. So I could see City having a goal fest. 5-2.
Interesting.
3-0 City. I think City are going to get 3 goals. They're going to chill out. They got too much on their plate. Business lack. I don't even think Pep's going to stay till the end. They're going to score 3 and he's going to go home at like halftime.
I say 3-1 to City.
I went 3-0 before Mandy took it, so I'm going to go with a 4-0. Let's go 4-0 City.
Another one in there.
Nah, I think I agree with
one more in
Wonga.
there.
I agree with Wonga 3-1. I think somehow they'll sneak a goal lead, so 3-1.
3-1. I'm thinking it's going to be a 3-2 game. 3-2 game City.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty synonymous there.
Okay.
Marcus is asking, he's like, we betting on Nick's hair under the cap.
Guys, I think Nick, my session. We had a hat on the whole day. I'm not taking this hat off.
Because the hair might go with it, guys. And then it's just nothing.
Oh, damn.
It's because he wants to look like John Joe Shelby. That's why. Save it all off. I'm joking.
John Joe.
Burnley, Newcastle. Yo, this is a massive game for the Toon. I'm gonna go with the 1-1 draw. I think they'll get a point, but I'm not convinced they'll win.
Oh man, this is a tough one. I want to back Newcastle. I think Goalloungtv's like finally figured out what this whole game is about. I think he's spent this whole week just looking at his feet, like this is what they can do when you turn them to good, you know. And he's just like he's gonna do it. I reckon 2-0 Newcastle. They're gonna bang themselves to safety. Steve Bruce is gonna move back into Newcastle, the returning hero. Like,
and they're gonna be carrying him.
They should give him a statue, honestly. They should give him a statue if they stay up.
Oh, man. You guys can talk. It's unbelievable.
I don't think anyone's team is safe on this show. That's the crux of it. Wonga, let's hear it.
Yeah, I agree with Pums there. I think it's going to be 2-1. I think, again, I'm hoping the players in Newcastle, I think they'll probably just take it over and think about themselves rather than listening to Bruce. And maybe just give it their all. So that's why I think they'll come out on top on this one, 2-1.
Thank you, Marcus. I think we appreciate you saying, you're going to be on time for Tuesday's show. We appreciate that, and we appreciate you rocking up, even if it is only 5 minutes. Thank you, Wonga, for that prediction too. I liked it. All right, Nick.
I think if Wilson is back, as the report suggests, and he starts up top with potentially, say, Maximum also starting, I think that quality is possibly enough for us to maybe get an away win. If we play anything like we have done in certain matches, a few of them, like we did away at Everton with that sort of front three, with Almiron added to that, we can hurt teams, especially a very rigid Burnley. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win.
Ooh, nice.
Wilson to score, and I don't know, maybe
I think Newcastle will have confidence from last week's draw against Kane and his boys. So I definitely think that Newcastle will get a victory here. 2-1 to Newcastle. Bring Burnley back into the relegation dogfight.
Guys, we all want Burnley relegated, don't we?
100%.
We do.
100%.
But this is a Sean Dyche sort of fixture. So I'm going to agree with Carlo. Yeah, I actually had 1-0 in my mind. So Carlo, you and I are same wavelength. So I think Burnley's going to take this one, Nick. Sorry about that, man. It's just one of those. He's a dickhead. He's a dick, and he's going to get those points.
I can't wait for your fixture against Villa here. Yeah, I'm
gonna go with Liverpool on this one, even though Villa hammered them last time out. Villa have been very up and down the last 8 to 10 games. They can score goals, but they also lead goals. I'm going to go 3-2. I think there's going to be a lot of goals in it. So I'm going to go 3-2 Liverpool.
Yeah, I also think Liverpool are going to edge this. I think I don't think it'll be tidy. I think it's going to be some sloppy defending on both ends. I also reckon 3-2. And that's my prediction.
I'm going to say 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw.
Wonga's just out for us.
Wonga's just saying what he's saying because Wonga.
What? It's 2-2 draw.
Do you believe what you're saying there?
Liverpool have to
No,
play
remember,
Madrid.
Wonga doesn't say what he thinks going to happen. He says what he wants to happen.
What he wants to happen. Right.
Yeah.
They play Real Madrid on Tuesday. They're going to rest players 2-2.
I agree with Pums. I think they're going to have too much. Villa, when I've seen them play, they're either hot or very, very cold. They can be very shit. And I think if Liverpool need to right that wrong in the week, and they need to fight for that top 4 spot. They're right there. So yeah, I think it's going to be a straightforward 3-1 win.
Okay, no, cool. I think, yeah, man. If Jack Grealish was available, I think he's a doubtful for the game. So 2-1 to Liverpool.
Yeah, lads. I'm just hoping Mane finally hits the back of the net, so he can just release the shackles against Real Madrid. Even though no one's shackling him, it's a mental shackle. Yeah, so I'm gonna
celebrate like that, just like wiping them off of him, you know.
A mental shackle.
A mental shackle. Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-2. I'm gonna go 2-1 win Liverpool, and that's me being more of a Wonga prediction. Going, it's what I hope happens, not a 2-2 draw, which is probably gonna happen. There, Wonga, I said it. I agree with you. Next game is going to be the West Ham Leicester.
I have to back my boys here. I'm gonna go 2-1 to West Ham. It's going to be a very tough game, and we are missing some key players, but I still think we just have enough to beat them. So 2-1.
Yeah, it bugs me, but I also see West Ham pulling this one off. I think,
yes.
I think, you got to give credit where it's due. I think West Ham have had a phenomenal season. I do think they've kind of unburdened themselves of a lot of the weaknesses that they've carried as well, and they're a side who's shown they can kind of evolve during the course of the season as well. I reckon they could pull this off. I think 2-1's a fair prediction for this one, which annoys me no end. You have no idea, Rich.
Yeah,
I appreciate the love.
I think West Ham take this 3-1. I think Lingard obviously a big part in that. I just don't see
dissent
Leicester
in the comments,
winning it.
Is Pums an Arsenal fan or what?
He is.
Obviously.
He is.
I called it. I've never met him, and I knew it.
Because they say what they want to happen, not what they think will happen.
I knew it.
He's Arsenal fan.
Pums, I hope you guys at least
Wonga said 3-1. Pums said 5-1 This is straight out of the Arsenal.
I said 3-1 to West Ham.
Yeah, thank you, Wonga. Thank you.
West Ham.
Yeah, he said West Ham. Pums said the other way, though.
Listen,
my bad. Yeah.
I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for West Ham because I think it's going to be a cagey affair. I don't think it's going to be a great game to watch. I think Moyes is going to play a bit of chess and he's going to win just 1-0.
I think it's going to be a draw, a score draw. So I think it's going to be a 1-1. I think both teams will definitely not want to lose, which will cause the 1-1.
I'm going to go 2-1 to, wait for it. Keep waiting for it. How did you know he said that? Why are you going to ruin I'm trying to build up suspense here, Nick. Jeepers. 2-1 Leicester, that's what I'm going
with. Because you want West Ham to do, so you're
doing an opposite.
You're pulling a Wonga.
No, you guys do.
No, that's not what I'm doing here. I'm thinking about the game. I'm going Brendan Rodgers and I'm going David Moyes. Can David Moyes show up for the occasion? I say this I'm going to back what I've been saying.
He beat him 4-0. He beat him 4-0 already this season.
But I'm saying this is bigger than what it was earlier in the season. It's bigger.
Yeah, fair.
So I'm gonna go with Brendan Rodgers. I mean, he did have Steven Gerrard. What?
You know what's interesting? Chelsea, West Ham win. They're 1 point behind third. That's unreal.
It's
there's incentive there.
It's a madness. Yeah.
So that sort of brings them Leicester back into the race to actually make the top 4, not necessarily even the top 3 anymore, because it sucks them back in. Yeah. And there's what 5-6 teams fighting for 2 places. It's unreal.
Yeah, there will be 6 teams definitely fighting for 2 places. I think.
And Leicester did this last season. They dropped out.
Yep.
Yeah.
They dropped out of that top 4.
Yep.
They are a side for snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. So.
Yeah.
Guys, I think are we all gonna just apologize to Pums for saying he was an Arsenal fan? Because I feel like in this current climate, that's quite an offensive thing to say.
Oh, it's
not just in this climate. I reckon anytime you accuse someone of that, you're probably.
Sorry, Pums. You actually
sorry, Pums.
That wins.
Sorry,
yeah, it's fine. You're still beneath us, so it's fine. It's irrelevant to me. Okay, Spurs, Man United. This I'm gonna go with Man United here, just because their away record is so good, and I think Mourinho is going to try not lose the game, but I just think Man United away from home are different breed. I think it'll be tight. It'll be 1 goal difference, so I think it'll be maybe like a 1-0 or 2-1 to United.
I think, are we scoring just on the day or on aggregate?
On the day.
You guys are both out of the Champions League. Doesn't count.
Doesn't it though? It'll count in my mind. Do you think I'm going to let Settle forget?
No.
But I think I don't know. It's hard to know because it's the kind of fixture that normally traditional peak Mourinho you would say is kind of built for him. We would sit back and then hit them on the counter and maybe come away 1 or 2-0 winners. But at the same time, we just haven't been doing it lately. So I'm going to back us. I'm going to say we win it 2-1. But I don't know how confident. Maybe I'm doing a Wonga. Maybe I'm telling you what I want to happen rather than what I think will happen. But I'm going to live with it. I'm going to be a Wonga for a moment. I'm going to say Spurs win it 2-1.
Wonga doesn't even react.
You've got to back up, boys. That's standard.
Wonga, now you be a Wonga. Tell me what you want.
No, look, I see Spurs different. Look, Spurs. Not maybe not the league entirely, but their home record right at the moment, I think it's 5. They've won the last 5. Man United also away, if you include all the games.
Wow, guys, there's a streaker in the Man United game. They just got on the field naked, butt naked, crazy.
How is he in the stadium?
Yeah, I thought they're not fans.
Yeah, there's no fans, but there's
male or female.
Oh, are you sure it's not Ole?
Important.
Male.
Why are you telling us? This should have been excluded.
Probably Van der Beek striking.
We'll be on the field.
That's unreal, Wonga.
That's not Wonga.
He's trying to get Ole's attention. He's trying to get Ole's attention there. I'm here, coach. I'm here. Pick me, man. Wonga saved that one. He took all of it and he saved that one right at the end there. Sure.
Fantastic.
Okay. But I think, look at Man United, they lost 5. They've won 2, they've lost 1. I think Spurs do have something in them. We've seen how they played. It's not, I don't think writing them off is the right thing. They could just change the way they play completely. The same way they changed it to their losing streak. So I think when I definitely see a draw on the cards. 2-2, 1-1. But I definitely a draw.
I just think this is a typical Mourinho. I think he's just going to make it ugly for them. I think they're going to win the game 2-1. I see it. I just see 3-2-1, 3-2. I think Kane's going to score. I think Son's going to score. It's just going to be a lot of goals. And I think he's going to win it. I think he's going to love it as well.
Yeah, he'll make a meal of it, eh?
Yeah.
Like he'll be there.
He'll celebrate. He'll celebrate in front.
3 times. 3 times.
Yeah.
so on my side, I think definitely, a 2-1 victory. To us, I think Spurs will get a goal, but they'll get a little bit nervous. They don't know what to do when they have a goal. They don't know if they should go for another one. They should hold on. They just don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? I think we even saw that in the North London derby. So I think definitely a 2-1 to the Red Devils.
Yeah, I'm actually, there's a lot of things that Wonga has said tonight that we're just on the same wavelength here. I'm going to say it's going to be a draw. I don't think, I know Nick mentions, Mourinho likes grinding these sort of results out and that sort of thing. I just don't think these players are up for that. They're just not those sort of players that roll up the sleeves and get dirty. We've seen it time and time again. So I'm going to go a 1-1 draw because both teams aren't going to be able to keep a clean sheet, but both will score. And then that's as far as it goes because a point for Ole is 3 points in the league, in the big games. So that's what I'm going to go with. Yeah. And Pums, we didn't speak about Chelsea today, so we owe you one, yeah? Guys, quickly, just predictions of the Chelsea game before he leaves completely. Crystal Palace, Chelsea. What are you guys going to think? It's also still a big game because they're also fighting for Champions League spot on 51 points, one behind West Ham. What do we think?
You'd expect Chelsea to win that game. Palace got a good point at Goodison, but yeah, you'd expect Chelsea to win. At least I would.
I think they'll even keep a clean sheet, 2-0 away from home.
Yeah,
I reckon Palace have got some goals and Palace got some serious talent. I reckon it's going to be 2-2. Chelsea are going to get caught napping, be a bit complacent. You know, that he's going to have his
I'd take that right now.
Yeah.
I also see that happening.
I reckon it's going to be 2-2. And Chelsea are going to kick themselves. I think this will be the result.
I love all the London clubs are saying that they're going to drop points. Just because you don't like them.
1-0 Crystal Palace.
I mean, not that
Crystal Palace won't go.
But Palace are also a
how
London
can you not
side.
back your boys to beat Palace?
That's
Surely
true.
Chelsea should be beating Palace. Surely.
Pums, come on, not 0-0.
No.
Pums, you have to back your boys at Salvers. Come on.
Pums, come on.
Are you
You
going
have
through
to.
something, bro? Who
Palace.
predicts a 0-0? What's going on?
I'll take a 0-0, Pums. I'll take a 0-0 all day.
Are you going through something? Oh, man.
Are you going through something? That's killed me, guys.
Hey, that's a nice line, Rich. I like that line. That's very nice. Nice one there.
Which line?
Anyway, is he going through something?
I didn't say that.
That was Matt.
Oh, he said that. Was that you, Matt?
Wake up, Claudia. Come on.
You've
Guys,
racked up
ready
a lot
to
of fines
go there.
tonight, Cloudy.
Are you still having nightmares about the Madrid game or something? That you're not thinking straight or what?
Flashbacks, PTSD.
See Vinicius scoring
Navigator.
Yeah.
Navigate
On that note, gents, the final thoughts before we go.
Goalloungtv will score this weekend.
Arteta out.
Yeah,
I want us to think about changing the league to be, instead of being 38 games, it must be 19 two-leg games. And we must incorporate that. Because I think we should do some research, one of the Opta boys, and go see if it would have changed the league results over the last 10 years.
Wait, when you say one of the Opta boys, I mean
either Richard or Wonga, like the two guys next
to me. I'll get on that, Maddie. I'll get on that.
Thank
you. That's actually an interesting thing to think about. Like, if you could actually work that out.
I think that'd be a very interesting thing. I think it would change Champions League spots and relegation spots over the course of the season.
Yeah.
I know, for instance, in the last 2 seasons, Man City have got their number.
Oh man,
got their number.
Yeah, so we won. So we drew 0-0 and we beat them 2-0 this season, 2-0, and then last season we beat them home and away. So. Last season we beat Chelsea. Last season we beat Chelsea home and away.
I think those teams are just worried about winning trophies and not playing against like Man United. Like they selecting.
Fuck off.
Like who cares?
You deserve to go to the Sky Bet Championship. For that, you deserve to go to the Sky Bet Championship.
We won that recently as well. We've probably got more of a recent trophy than you guys do anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you imagine Goalloungtv tearing it up in the championship, man? Just banging them in.
You might have won the championship, but did you win the playoff final? That's the question. The championship playoff final. Yeah.
They buy that trophy at Pick and Pay before they rock up at Wembley. I always wondered.
It's the most expensive game in football. It's the most expensive game in football.
Why doesn't the second place team get a trophy, but the team that wins the playoffs gets a trophy?
It is stupid. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Chaps,
yes,
it's been fun.
Thanks a lot, lads. Need to watch my team.
Right.
That's the one, guys. That pretty much wraps up the show. To everyone who attended and everyone who was here, thank you very much.
It was a marathon show. Thank you, guys.
It was.
Yeah, it was a long one.
Yeah, a test match of sorts.
Yeah. we on day 4.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Peace out. We'll see you on Tuesday for the cool down. All right, cheers, everyone.
Cheers, guys.